Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So today we have a pretty interesting topic. I'm really excited to get into this one. This is based on a suggestion from Aid. Hello, and thank you for your suggestion. And it is a visit to the spiritual library with Archangel Metatron. I always imagine our soul as a cute little spirit venturing into the celestial library and happily picking out books for our soul lessons on earth. And lo and behold, the more happily they pick, the more lessons we need to learn. Think forgiveness, strength from soul contracts with individuals, career and interpersonal experiences, challenges, trusting the process of our passion projects. I'd like to have our soul and the archangels walk us through our book of life in the spiritual library and help us make sense of why we chose these lessons. For I always hear readers mention processing karmic lessons as what our soul chooses to learn on earth, what's destined and what could still be edited by our willpower and inner magician. Thanks, Kino. Thank you. So because we are asking Archangel Metatron to be present with us in this reading, I went through a few of my oracle decks that I knew had Archangel Metatron cards, and I'm using them for our option selection. As you can see, he is depicted as a man in these decks. Personally, when I envision Metatron, I don't even really see like a human form or a gender or anything like that. More just like a presence. Archangel Metatron is said to be the keeper of the Akashic records. So this is an archangel who can help us access those records, access past lives, future lives, help us make sense of the experiences we're having and certain decisions that our soul has made. Archangel Metatron is also associated with sacred geometry. You may be familiar with Metatron's cube. So in today's reading, we will ask Archangel Metatron to take us to those records, to that spiritual library, and see if we can remember some of the books that your soul picked out for their experiences and lessons during this lifetime. I did just want to say before we get into it, because I don't know what's going to come up in these readings, but there may be some challenging energies that come up. I do want to acknowledge that souls do choose to go through challenging experiences because they lead to growth and they lead to expansion. It's the same way that we as humans sometimes choose to do difficult things in our lives because we recognize that while there may be some discomfort and some struggle, it will ultimately lead to us advancing and achieving our goals and becoming the people we want to be. And so there is a soul version of that from a higher perspective when souls choose the type of incarnations they want to have. But with that being said, I just wanted to say before we get into it, like if that concept of choosing tough lessons or choosing challenging experiences just like doesn't resonate with you or doesn't sit well with you, please feel free to opt out of this reading and I will see you in the next one. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into your reading selection. There are 3 readings to choose from today, and I'm thinking with each group, we will focus on 2 main books / experiences, lessons that your soul picked out, just so that it doesn't get too confusing and all over the place. With that being said, if you feel called to more than one group, this would definitely be a reading where you could listen to multiple. The more groups you choose, there will be more books that are revealed. So definitely don't limit yourself to one reading if you feel called to more than one. And yeah, each of these cards, like I mentioned before, is an Archangel Metatron card. So I will show you what the artwork looks like, and I'll also show you the crystal that is accompanying each. And please pick whichever one or ones you feel drawn to the most. For my group number 1s, we have this rose quartz Merkaba, and here is your Archangel Metatron. For my group number 2s, we have this Muscovite, and here is your Archangel Metatron. And for my group number 3s, we have this Kyanite, and here is your Archangel Metatron. Okay, so just in case you need a bit more time to pick, here are all of your Metatrons laid out side by side so that you can compare them and see which one or ones are calling to you the most. As always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s, so if you guys chose the Rose Quartz Merkaba and this iteration of Archangel Metatron, which is from the Intuit Angel Oracle, this is going to be your reading. Well actually, let's just go ahead and read this card that you chose before we get into it. So this card has the number 14. Angel of the Divine Presence, which is another way to address Archangel Metatron. The keywords are miracles, powerful change, Akashic records, sudden shift, spiritual growth, and hyper focus. I help you discover and develop your personal spiritual power and learn to use it to make a better world. The associated crystal is ametrine. There's a time frame of 3 months on here. And it says act now. Maybe if you take action now, you will see results in 3 months from whenever you're watching this. But anyway, let's get into it. There's actually 2 things that happened before I started filming your reading that I wanted to mention. And one is that this Thulite heart fell off my desk, like out of nowhere. It actually kind of freaked me out because like, why did it fall? But I definitely felt like that was a sign for you. And it fell on my left side. So this was about you receiving something. Google says that Thulite is named after the mythical island of Thule. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. It is the national stone of Norway. So Norway could be significant to someone. And it was first discovered in 1820. And as for the metaphysical properties, it's associated with the heart chakra, and it's believed to promote emotional healing, compassion, and self-love. So this could have been a message from Archangel Metatron that you can give yourself more compassion and you can give yourself more self-love, or that learning to receive love is a big lesson for you in this lifetime. And then something else that happened is that 4 in the Morning by Gwen Stefani randomly popped into my head. Haven't listened to that song in ages. And I looked that up. It was released in 2006. So that could be a significant year for someone, or this song, or quite literally the time 4 in the morning could be significant to someone. I read through the lyrics myself. I won't read through all of them here, but it definitely seems like it's supposed to be a song about a relationship between 2 people. But when I read it, it kind of felt like it could be a part of myself talking to myself, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna put that out there. If you feel called to check out the song or check out the lyrics, feel free to do that. But yeah, let's get into the library. This is me from the future because I made this whole list like of the breakdown of the reading and then I forgot to show it to you. So I'm going to put this in here and then I'm gonna shuffle all of the cards, which I actually already did, but we're gonna go back to the shuffling part. I might put a timestamp so that you can skip the shuffling because I know that not everybody likes to sit through that. So, and it took quite some time. So anyway, like we mentioned in the intro, we are going to look at 2 books that your soul has chosen from the spiritual library as experiences or lessons to have in this incarnation. So for each book that your soul has chosen, we're going to see the energetic signature of this experience or lesson, how it manifests in the 3D, in which area of life is most prominent, the scale of this experience or lesson. So is it just something that pops up for one season of your life? Is it a lifelong thing? Is it something that's been ongoing over multiple lifetimes? We are going to see how your soul approaches this experience or lesson and what your soul is currently learning from it. Then at the end of the reading, we're going to check what in your experience is destined, just meaning that it's a bit more fixed, not completely set in stone, and what could be more easily edited by your inner magician, what is less fixed in your experience. And then we'll finish off the reading with advice from Archangel Metatron to you for this moment. So that's how the reading's gonna go. I'm gonna shuffle the cards now, and if you want to skip that part, you can go to this timestamp, which will also be clickable down below. So I'm going to pull 2 cards from here to represent the books that your soul has chosen for experiences and lessons in this lifetime. A message that's coming through is that you possess a striking beauty that everybody else sees, but that you may not really see. I know that message sounds very like, oh, you just don't know how beautiful you are. But like, it's something that others can see very clearly, but that is not so visible to you. Something you may need to learn is accepting love, positivity, praise, encouragement from others and not dismissing that just because it doesn't fit with your own self-image. This is a very oversimplified example, but I imagined someone who personally doesn't think they're beautiful, and then when other people say, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful, they like immediately think, oh, they must be lying. Well, just because you don't see that, it doesn't mean other people don't see it. Just because you may not think those things about yourself doesn't mean that other people don't. Like, those people are being genuine. It is something that they genuinely see in you and that does exist in you. Oop, I just dropped some cards on the floor. Seven. Some of you could be a life path 7. You'd be born on the 7th. 7 is related to the Chariot. So, and this is a message I've been getting a lot. Oop, I just looked up and saw 555. I was gonna say a message I've been getting a lot is that life is speeding up. And I think that's just because of like the astrological transits that are happening right now. Life could be speeding up for you right now, and that message paired with the 555, you're probably going to see some huge and fast changes coming in your life right now. Okay, so could we please see 2 of the books that group number 1's souls have chosen for this lifetime? These cards are sort of going to represent the energetic signature of the experience you chose to have. So one of them is the 3 of Coins. And one of them is the Knight of Cups. Ooh, these are nice. And These next cards are going to represent how this manifests in your 3D life. So for the Three of Coins experience, it manifests in the 3D as courage. For the Knight of Cups experience, it manifests in the 3D as behind a mask. And then we're just gonna get cards from one more deck. And we're gonna see what your soul is learning. So from the Three of Coins experience, your soul is learning the illusion. Ooh, interesting. And from the Knight of Cups experience, your soul is learning evolve into your complexity. Okay. The last thing I'm going to do is just roll some dice for each. Okay, so we have Uranus, Sagittarius, and the third house. I feel like I just looked this up recently. Like the Uranus in Sagittarius seasons. Then we have Sun in Libra in the fourth house. Okay, I just looked it up again, and Uranus was in Sagittarius from 1981 to 1988. So some of you could be born in those years, or someone significant to you is born in those years. Libra Sun could also be significant. You don't have to have these placements, but it could be a confirmation for some of you. But anyway, let's get into it. So for the first book that your soul has chosen for this lifetime, we have the Three of Pentacles. So this is the energetic signature of this experience or lesson. And it manifests in the 3D as courage, and it is teaching your soul about the illusion. So this is a pretty clear message for me, courage with the illusion, because the shark in this card seems to be representing a threat, but this shark is inside a brain. So it's giving the feeling of like the illusion of a threat. Your brain is telling you something is scary and dangerous and you can't do it, when in fact you very much can. So I think that your soul chose to have career goals in this lifetime that are very ambitious. And I think at the same time, your soul may have opted for a mind, I want to say that's a bit skittish, that is sensitive to like, oh, this could be danger, that could be danger, this could not work out, that could not work out, because a part of the experience your soul wanted to have was triumphing over that and learning the lesson of, I don't have to believe everything I think. I don't have to let the like impulsive or intrusive thoughts of my brain control me. I am stronger than that. Not everything my fears tell me is true. So I feel like your soul's kind of learning how to work with the human brain, because as long as you're incarnate as a human, you're gonna have one of those, and it's very useful and it's very necessary. But sometimes the brain is just full of shit and it tells us that, oh, we need to be fearful of XYZ, or if we do XYZ, we will fail or we will be in danger, and no, you can't do that and you shouldn't do that. You may have a brain that is a little bit self-sabotaging at times and tries to keep you away from your big goals and ambitions. And I feel like the experience your soul wanted to have in this lifetime was to be like, brain, respectfully, F you. Like, I can do it. And I'll show you. I will show you and I will teach you that I can do it. So a big experience you wanted to have was like triumphing over your brain and triumphing over mental blockages and that voice that tells you you can't. And this card is a number 1 card. And I feel like you're setting an example for a lot of people by doing this, whether that's just the people in your immediate circle who are witnessing you or a larger collective. But I definitely think that your courage is an example for others. Like if group 1 can do it, then I can too. I think you're actually going to help a lot of people overcome their mental blockages in this lifetime. And recognize that you can move forward even when you're scared. You don't have to let those fears control you. I think that your soul probably incarnated as quite a high achiever, someone with a lot of drive. The 3 of Pentacles is associated with Mars in Capricorn, which could be a placement that some of you have, but Mars is exalted in the sign of Capricorn, and this just feels like you have a strong work ethic for things that you really care about, and you have a strong drive. And in the end, that drive and that ambition and that like thirst for success will be stronger than your fears. It's possible that in a past life you were too afraid to go after certain goals, or you didn't live up to your full potential because of mental illusions. These stories that you told yourself about why you can't do it. Maybe you had a brain that self-sabotaged, that made excuses, that kept you small and comfortable. And this is something that you're gonna beat it in this lifetime. You're gonna be victorious. We do have the planet Uranus here, which is an outer, slower moving planet. And so this tells me that this is probably something that you've been working on for multiple lifetimes. However, when you finally succeed in it, it's gonna be like a huge breakthrough rather than something gradual. I guess the progression that I see throughout your lifetimes is less like, oh, we completely failed that time. Okay, we did a little bit better this time. Oh, we did very well this time. Oh my gosh, we beat the cycle. It's gonna be very like, nope, 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 nope. And then suddenly in this incarnation, you're just like achieving everything and breaking through all of your mental barriers. It's very like, it feels very 0 to 100 with Uranus here, because Uranus is just like erratic and unpredictable, and it can talk about these like sudden changes and breakthroughs. It's like something's finally clicking. I think a key moment in this lifetime will be this epiphany that you have where you're like, holy shit, like I don't have to listen to these voices in my head that tell me I can't do it. I don't have to tell myself these stories. And it's very interesting that you have the 3rd house for the area of life it's affecting, because the 3rd house is like, it's your intellect, it's communication, it's the narratives you tell yourself, it's the stories you tell yourself. So Uranus in the 3rd house here, it means you're having like a huge mental breakthrough in this lifetime and breaking through fears that your previous human avatars have had for many, many lifetimes that kept them small, that kept them afraid. Oh my gosh, I'm excited for you. It's like you're finally embodying your greatness. The way your soul is approaching this is Sagittarius. So one thing I'll say about your soul is they are a trooper. Like I don't think your soul beats themselves up. If they struggle in a lifetime with this lesson, I feel like they'll come back like, oh man, I did it again. Like, let's try again. Because Sagittarius, they're just happy to be here and they're looking at the long game. They're looking at the long game. I think your soul actually gives themselves a lot of grace and recognizes that these lessons are learned over many, many, many lifetimes. And I hope that's something that you can, some wisdom that you can take from your soul, because as humans, we tend to beat ourselves up like, oh my gosh, I've been working on this lesson for months or years and I haven't figured it out yet. Welcome to being a soul. Like these things take many lifetimes and you're always growing and always improving, and there's no need to prove yourself in just one lifetime. You got all the time in the world, quite literally. So I feel like your soul, again, is very optimistic, very, yes, taking the lesson seriously, but with kindness to yourself. I don't think your soul approves of beating yourself up, or any members of your soul group to beat themselves up. I would bet that your soul has the role in your soul group, this is making me emotional, of like lifting everybody's spirits and like, hey, it's okay. You'll get it next time. You'll do better next time. And sees every quote unquote failure as just more opportunities to learn. I think you're going to get it in this lifetime, and it's going to lead to such huge expansion, particularly in your career. I think the heights you reach professionally in this lifetime will be exponentially higher than previous lifetimes. We love that for you. And I also think like the reach you have or the influence you have on others is growing, because there's something about like a success story or a shining example here, and the way you overcome your fears to reach your goals inspires a lot of people in your orbit, like the other humans in your circle in this lifetime. And I literally just saw 2222, which makes me think of relationships and partnerships. So your breakthrough is definitely meant to help others and set an example for others. That's awesome. Okay, let's move on to the second book that your soul chose, which is the Knight of Cups. The way it manifests in the 3D is behind a mask, and the lesson that your soul is learning is evolve into your complexity. So first of all, I think it's interesting that we have two kind of like face coverings here. This person's covering their face. If a knight was wearing this, they would be covering their face. So I think this is something about intimacy and embracing your sensitivity and embracing your depth. I would bet that your soul has chosen a human, aka you, who is deeply sensitive and complex. And I just heard complex doesn't mean complicated necessarily. Complex doesn't mean hard to understand. It means there's a lot of layers and we take time to understand it, but it's a joy. It's a joy to peel back your layers. It's a joy to get to know you better. You may, in this 3D experience, wear a mask around people. Not a mask that presents something you are not, but a mask that just conceals certain parts of you. It's very much giving like, I only show one side of myself. And you maybe feel like you have to do this. I just noticed, whoa, okay, I'm very late to notice this, but look at the numbers. This is a 3. This is a 1, this is a 13, aka 1-3. This is a 3 and this is a 3. So there's a lot of 1s and 3s going on here. And then we have 3, 4, and 1-4. 1, 3, and 4 could be significant numbers for this group. There's also something about a 7 earlier. Yeah, you're hiding behind a mask, and this, I feel like you have a being, what does that mean? A way of being, a way of showing up that is very likable to people, but you may be preventing people from getting to know you on a deeper level and like truly falling in love with your depths and truly falling in love with your complexity. And I want to be very clear, like the version of you that people love is the real you, but it's only part of it. You know what I mean? It's only part of it. And so I feel like something you will learn in this lifetime is that it's not just this one side of me that's likable and I have to hide the rest of it. Actually, if people could see the full picture, they would love me even more. Maybe not everybody, but the ones who are meant to be in my life will love me even more, and they will appreciate the ability to understand me even more. Some of you may feel like the real you is just like so hard to understand, or people wouldn't get it, or like no one really knows you. And I think your soul wants to try, like just try showing that most intimate side of you. Again, doesn't have to be to everybody, but trust that there are people who get it and there are people who love the totality of you. And it's so interesting that this thulite fell, again, freaked me out. It made a loud noise, but I feel like that was Archangel Metatron telling you that, I can see how these go together. A big experience you're meant to have in this lifetime is receiving true love. I think a lot of people love you for like the example that you've shown and how you inspire them, which is a very real part of you. This courage and this drive and your encouraging, uplifting spirit is a very real part of you. It's what you can do for others, the impact you can have on others, and that is a real part of you. But then there's also like this softer inner part of you that doesn't exist to inspire others, that doesn't exist to help others, that doesn't exist to be an achiever, that just exists. And maybe there's this part of you that's like, well, this side of me can't do anything for anyone. It's just like a soft, squishy little bean, but it's so worthy of love and it's so beautiful. And maybe just being in a receiving energy is something that your soul wants to experience in this lifetime and get more comfortable with. This really fits with the number 4 because like 4 representing the 4th house, this is the least visible part of your birth chart. It's at the bottom, like the midnight point of the sky, the darkest point of the night. So it can represent kind of like your private inner world, and it represents other things like family and origins, but in this context, it does feel like your innermost world. For the scale of this lesson or experience, we have the sun. This is giving me the feeling that this will be a lifelong theme. However, you're not always going to struggle with this. I feel like there's going to be a big portion of your life that you get to enjoy because you have mastered this and you have developed some truly like intimate, loving connections with soulmates, soul family members, or any other souls whom you choose to trust and let in like that. But I definitely feel like this mask is coming off at a point in your life where then you still have like many, many years to enjoy the mastery of this lesson and to enjoy true love and to enjoy letting all of your facets be seen. Probably at the point that you're watching this, like you're in the process of doing that. What I will say with how your soul is approaching this experience in this lesson, we have the sign of Libra. And so one thing that I might say about your current energy is that whether or not you take off this mask or like what you show could still be kind of based on the other person's or based on other people's response and other people's reaction. I almost feel this energy. I just thought of like a business, like testing different versions of a product, which I don't like that because you're not a product. But when you think about a product, the goal of a product is it's either to like be appealing to other people, to be useful to other people, to be popular amongst people. And I feel like sometimes that's maybe how you operate as a person. That's how a lot of us do, right? Like we want to optimize ourselves to be the most appealing, useful, and popular version of ourselves. And that's not what this lesson is about. And I feel this energy that you might sometimes slip into where it's like, oh, I showed this side of me and I got a positive response from the public or like from the people. So I'm going to show this side of me more often. It's very like dependent on like, what did this other person think about my existence or this side of me? When really, I think the mastery of this lesson here would look like, this is all of me. This is the true me. And let it be a repellent for those who are not meant to be in my life, and let it be an honor and a blessing for those who are meant to be in my life. Think about someone whom you love so dearly, and think about how honored you feel and how grateful you feel and just how happy you feel when they open up to you and when they show you their complexities and when they show you all of their true colors and say, like, this is me in my entirety. Doesn't that feel like such an honor, like that they trust you to do something so like spiritually intimate? So, you know, I think mastery of this looks like you really embodying that truth of showing my complexity and showing all of my facets is a gift and a blessing to the right people. And it's a repellent to the wrong people. And that is also a blessing. Like, keep those people away from me. So yeah, this, I feel like we're actively working on this right now. You're actively working on both of them. You're doing a great job, group one. All right, so we're gonna switch up the decks now. And let's see what is destined for you, or what is more fixed for you in this lifetime. I just felt like saying the ages of 31 to 34 could be like a significant time in your life, or the ages of 41 to 43, because I was just thinking of those, like the 1 and the 3 and the 4. Okay, we have the Queen of Swords. Ooh. Okay, we can take all of them. We have the 10 of Wands. We have the 5 of Wands. And we have the Sun. Okay, some things that are kind of fixed in your life is you being highly intelligent, you being quite particular about your preferences and your goals and the way you do things. You may have a gift with speaking or communication or languages. You could have a very fast, like, processing, I don't know, like, I guess high cognitive ability, or like a high wit. And what was I gonna say? I'm clearly not exhibiting those traits right now because I forgot what I was gonna say. Anyway, let's just keep going. If I was meant to say it, it will come back. I think that there are certain stressful or frustrating situations in your life that you were meant to experience, or like a stressful or frustrating pattern that was meant to repeat in your life, because it's meant to show you that you have the power to break it. So something else you're meant to triumph over is a struggle, a frustration. I'm hearing like a constant feeling of being burned out, of being overworked, and it's like you can free yourself from this. So here, I'm not talking about something that another person has put upon you. It's maybe more of a mental thing. Maybe you're the type of person who loads your to-dos with so many things, or you are really hard on yourself when you don't get every single thing done. You expect of yourself a really high output and a really high level of performance all the time, or try to like force yourself to handle big workloads, and then you constantly feel overwhelmed and frustrated and exhausted. And it's like, it's something that you can free yourself from. Whether that's through boundaries with yourself, or boundaries with others, or boundaries with life. And I feel like the Sun is saying, your joy is on the other side of this. Freedom is on the other side of this. And I think this kind of ties into like the illusion. It's this feeling of like, oh my gosh, I don't have time. I have a bajillion things to do, but it's an illusion. The illusion that everything is urgent. The illusion that so much is being asked of you all the time. And that's not to say that like all of your burdens are made up. I'm talking about something internal, like a pressure that you put on yourself. I feel like your soul kind of chose a brain on hard mode. I feel like you could have a brain that's like very strict, very particular, very finicky, I think the word is. And it's just like yelling at you all the time. A brain that doesn't really let you relax. But you were meant to have that experience of like, oh, this brain is not the final boss of me. And I can change it. And I can be carefree and enjoy life. I can have this experience. I want to tell you right now, this is your destiny. You were meant to have the experience in this lifetime of having like a carefree mind and genuinely just like enjoying yourself and having fun without looking over your shoulder, without thinking about the 34,000 things you have to do. And I will be clear here also, just like the day and age we exist in creates a lot of illusions of urgency. The fact that we have our phones on us all the time and we're supposed to be available all the time. The illusion that we can reply to everything and have an empty inbox. The illusion that every time we have a few minutes off, we should use that to do something productive. Like it's not actually, it's all bullshit, you know? So I think your soul maybe chose a difficult brain, but also this day and age that we live in is objectively like kind of bullshit for creating a false sense of like, I must do everything now and I must productivity max everything. I must optimize everything. Like that's just the age we live in. So why we wanted to have that experience, I guess we just opted for that experience, all of us who are alive right now. But it is an opportunity to show that it doesn't have to be this way and that we don't have to just submit to that, and we can triumph over that, and we can choose a more carefree life. But that requires not giving into peer pressure of continuing to play the rat race game. So it is difficult, but it's possible. And I want to tell you, you are genuinely destined to be carefree and playful and to prioritize like creativity and leisure in this lifetime. You can and you will. Okay, what is more bendable to your free will? What is less fixed in your life? We have the King of Wands. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, yeah, that just confirmed for me. And we have Judgment. So I feel like, okay, a big part of your experience in this lifetime is professional success. I would bet that many of you are going to find success in something creative, whether that's like in the arts or in communications, or maybe it's like starting a business or doing an existing job in a out of the box kind of way. Like that's also creativity. We do have the King of Wands here, so you definitely have the potential to like be your own boss, to be self-employed. I feel like this is not like your destiny. You don't have to do that, But the King of Wands is here to tell you that you could very well be successful and you could very well thrive like that. Whether or not you succeed as an individual or you succeed in a group, I don't think that is set in stone, but you're kind of destined to succeed. And I do feel like you're destined to have a career that is genuinely fun to you. Of course, there's going to be moments that are not so fun and that are hard, but in general, I feel like what you do is very enjoyable to you. It just really depends how much you want to exercise your independence in this lifetime, because I feel like you can be very, very independent, but maybe that's kind of something you've already mastered. You've kind of already mastered independence, and so it's not like there's a lesson for you in this lifetime of can you become independent. It's now that you've mastered it, it's just your choice. If you want to take that route again, or if you want to do something in a group, or if you want to like work for someone. I feel like you can be successful in many different ways. I do kind of feel like the overall field that you'll work in is destined, but the specific job that you have, or I want to say the specific job that you prioritize, may not be set in stone. I could kind of see you having multiple projects going and like multiple job titles, and you can prioritize whichever one you want. I don't feel like there's one absolute career that you were meant to have. Just like a general role that you were meant to have, or like a general field that you were meant to be in, and that you will naturally be gravitated towards because it's like naturally the one that is the most fun for you. I also feel like your financial situation with the Ace of Pentacles here, that is really up to you. So you're not like destined to be super wealthy. You're not destined to struggle financially. I feel like it will very much be in your hands, which I think is a good thing. Maybe you want to prioritize a career that is really, really fulfilling for you and have a more modest income. Maybe you want to make $1 bajillion and then donate it all. Maybe, I don't know, you can kind of do whatever you want. And I feel like that's the true financial freedom. I feel like true abundance is I don't have to make as much money as possible because I have the freedom to choose the lifestyle I want. So yeah, whatever your money goals are, I feel like there's not going to be any blockages with that. And then we have Judgment. Judgment for something that is less fixed. Okay. There is some unfinished business from a past life that you will have to answer to at some point. But whether or not you do it in this lifetime is up to you. Let's see if we can be nosy. Maybe some of you already know what this is referring to. But for those of you who don't, or maybe this is just me wanting to be nosy. What is this Judgment card about? Oh, also for those of you who have aspirations to be a public figure, I feel like you also have the freedom to choose, like, do you want to be a more niche cult classic kind of public figure, or do you want to be like a household name kind of public figure? There's pros and cons to each, you know? There's pros and cons to each for sure. So that's up to you though. Which means that you're capable of both, and that's kind of super badass. All right. About this Judgment card, we have the Ace of Cups. Oh, this is about like a relationship or love or something. Maybe you have like a soulmate from a past life who's coming back in this lifetime, and you have some, and it doesn't have to be romantic, but you have some unfinished business with them, but you don't. It's interesting. I'm like giggling with this message. So it definitely doesn't seem like something that's heavy, you know? It's not like you did something awful to me in a past life and you must atone. It doesn't feel like that. It feels just like, hey, so we kind of had a thing in a past life and like it didn't really work out and I was wondering like if you wanted to get back together. It feels kind of like that. This does not feel heavy, group one, so don't be like afraid about some bad karma like catching up to you. It's just something from a past life. Someone's coming back. And you could choose to resume that relationship in this lifetime, but you don't have to. It's up to you. It's not set in stone. It's not like your destiny. Interesting. So maybe like your life partner in this lifetime is not destined to be one person. You can choose. All right. So finally, and yeah, there's that message of like, I think I said you have to answer to it eventually. You don't have to, but maybe you agreed with this other soul to have a certain kind of relationship or to have a certain experience together. But like, it could be this lifetime, it could be the next one. It doesn't feel urgent or heavy. What is your advice from Archangel Metatron? Whoop. That, it flipped over. We can take that, but let's actually take one that like comes out because it's satisfying when it does that. Okay, so. Okay, that's very interesting because I heard when I was shuffling, like, your most important soulmate is yourself in this lifetime. Like the most important relationship is the one with you. Your true love is you. And that's just me saying there's not like this one person that you have to chase and that you have to be with. You will have very fulfilling, intimate relationships, but you are the center of your life, not someone else. And then this card came out and it says, like, you are a flower that is always in full bloom. And it knocked the Libra die upside down. So I feel like another lesson and like a thing you have to be careful about in this lifetime is that when you put too much focus on another person, or when you put too much focus on a connection or a relationship, you lose sight of the beauty you already have. Like you're already a flower in full bloom, and you don't need another person to make you bloom or to make you beautiful or to make you vibrant and glowing like this card. Relationships, yes, relationships are important and necessary, and they add so much value to our lives, and we can't live without relationships. But I think maybe this is a message for those of you who tend to like fixate on one person or like put people on a pedestal or something like that. You are the flower in full bloom, and you don't need anyone else to make you bloom. This card says you are always in full bloom. And then the final card is, oh, this is like stand firmly like a tree in the ground. So this feels like it's about perseverance. This is about confidence, putting yourself first, and perseverance. And patience. Be patient with your goals and also be patient with yourself. And remember that you are always in full bloom. Wherever you are right now is perfect. Whatever version of you exists right now is beautiful. It is not the achievement of any goal that makes you bloom, because you're already perfect. And maybe, like, if you are the type of person who gets impatient with reaching external goals, maybe realizing that, like, they don't actually do anything to your worth, that could maybe help you be okay on the journey and be okay with, like, the waiting, because you don't actually need it to add anything to you. You're already complete. Okay. Group 1, that is everything that I'm seeing for you. So thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. And thank you to Archangel Metatron for facilitating these messages. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm gonna have a link down below, my Instagram, my memberships, where you can watch the extended readings that go up every month, and you can also watch exclusive full-length readings for the members. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release link down below. And if you happen to be in Tokyo on March 19th, you can come see me at OR in Miyashita Park in Shibuya. I'm going to be DJing there, and I'll be hanging out there before and after my set. So if you wanted to come stop by and say hi and hang out, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram and I will share the event details with you. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your higher self, to anyone who appeared in this reading, their higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, of course, Archangel Metatron, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi, number 2s. So if you guys chose the Muscovite and this iteration of Archangel Metatron, this is going to be your reading. This card, as you could probably tell when I showed it in the intro, is called Chakra Clearing, and the message from Archangel Metatron says, "Call upon me to clear and open your chakras using sacred geometric shapes." So we're just gonna put him off to the side here, and I want to just go through the breakdown of this reading. There's a deck of tarot cards in this box, which represents our spiritual library, and we're going to pull 2 cards from this deck to represent 2 books that your soul has chosen for this lifetime, representing certain key experiences or lessons. And for each book, we are going to see what the energetic signature is of each experience or lesson that your soul chose, and how it manifests in the 3D. In which area of life is it most prominent? What is the scale of this experience or lesson? So is it just a season in this lifetime? Is it a lifelong thing? Is it something that's been ongoing over multiple lifetimes? And then we're going to see how your soul approaches this experience or lesson and what your soul is currently learning from it. Then at the end of the reading, we're going to pull some cards to see what is destined, meaning what is more fixed in your life versus what could be more easily edited by your inner magician, what is less fixed. And then we're going to finish off with advice from Archangel Metatron for you in this moment. So that is how our reading is going to go today. Thank you so much for being here. And now let's access our spiritual library. So we're going to get 2 cards to represent the 2 books that your soul chose for this life. And these cards here are going to represent the energetic signature of these experiences. For my group 2s. We have the King of Wands, and we have the Knight of Swords. Oh yeah, I did this for group 1. Because this shuffling could take a while, I'm gonna put a timestamp here, and if you'd like to skip the shuffling part, you can just click that timestamp. It will be down below and go straight to the messages. Okay, so for the next deck, we're gonna see how these manifest in the 3D. So the King of Wands experience manifests in the 3D as transformation. The Knight of Swords experience manifests as angels of the 4 directions. And then for the final deck in this section, this is going to represent what your soul is currently learning. What is your soul currently learning from the King of Wands experience? We have immense growth. Okay. And this card fell into my lap, and I just saw 444 on the camera timer. So I'm definitely going to make a note of that. And then what you're learning from the Knight of Swords experience is just trust. This one also fell into my lap, interestingly. And then finally, I'm gonna roll a set of dice for each one. So for the King of Wands experience, we have the 10th house, we have Pluto, and we have the sign of Scorpio. Man. Okay, then for the Knight of Swords experience, we have Saturn, we have Sagittarius, and we have the 9th house. Okay, Pluto in Scorpio, I feel like people born in the 90s have Pluto in Scorpio. Wait, I'm gonna check these because these placements are not that long ago. Pluto in Scorpio generation is born roughly 1983 to 1995. So shout out to my Pluto in Scorpio generation. And then Saturn in Sagittarius was between 1985 and 1988. Wait, doesn't that overlaps? So that would be super cool if you had both of those. Let me know if you do. You certainly don't have to, but that could be a confirmation for some of you just because that's what showed up on the dice. But anyway, let's get into these experiences. So I feel like your soul chose to have some experience about escaping the rat race or like doing something kind of outside of the box. When I was shuffling, I heard, wait, I almost forgot who I am. So I feel like your soul chose to have a significant chapter of their life doing something that feels out of alignment or like where they don't feel like themselves because it's the conventional thing to do, because that's what everybody does. Some of you may have been born into families that had very specific expectations for you. Maybe there was a family business. Maybe there were just certain like cultural or religious expectations of like, this is your role. When you hit this age, you do this, you go to school, when you graduate, you do this. It almost feels like some of you could have been born into a situation where it's almost like your life plan was set up for you. And you're like, I just got here. I just got to Earth. What do you mean you have my whole life planned for me already? No. You may have, some of you may have had childhoods where you felt like you were rebellious and you were maybe even punished for doing things out of the box. And then as you get older, you sort of learn that, oh, the things that I was doing were not objectively bad things. They were not objectively punishable things. They just went against someone else's plan for my life. They just went against someone else's expectations. But I wasn't actually doing anything bad or wrong. Some of you were maybe born into even like countries or cultures where there's just like very narrow expectations of what success is, or there's just a lot of people who follow the same plan for life. Maybe there's, like the same few schools that everybody wants to get into, or the same few jobs that are considered like valuable and respectable, or the same type of person you should marry, the same age range that you should reach certain milestones at. It's just this feeling of everything was laid out for you. Like, this is the life that you should live. And I do feel like there would be a significant chapter of your life where you were following that plan. Now, for some of you, that may have been a really uncomfortable experience, especially if the whole time you have this awareness of like, this is not who I am. Who I really am, I want to live this different life. I want to live this freer life. But others of you could have really, and maybe it was like a protective thing, gone through some kind of like amnesia of who you truly are, and actually felt like you were doing really well in this life that was planned out for you. But at some point, maybe you had like a spiritual awakening and realized like, oh crap, this is not me. This is like the life that someone else chose for me. And I feel like all of that being in the predestined plan and then waking up and realizing like, no, I want to choose my own life. I feel like that whole arc is something that your soul chose to experience in this lifetime. And it's about remembering your power, because the King of Wands feels like, I always feel it's like obviously a leader because it's a king, but it's an independent and creative free spirit. I feel like this is who you are. This is who you're meant to be. And this life was about remembering that that's you and that you have the power to honor that in yourself. So a big theme in your life is deviating from that plan that someone else or that like your society or your culture set up for you, and saying like, no, you don't get to tell my life story. And if I was gonna live this life that was pre-set up for me, it would still be my choice. It's not about like this life is better or this life is worse. It's about I have the right to choose. I want to live the life that I choose. And so it's almost like you live a life for one chapter of your life and then you break free from it. You escape it. And you say, no, I'm going to do me now. And reclaiming the power to create your life and reclaiming your identity. And I also think there's a big theme here of releasing shame, because you're realizing that the things you were told are bad are not actually objectively bad. They just go against someone's expectations. They go against someone's rules, but there's nothing inherently wrong about them. And I think that means releasing shame and judgments, that like internalized shame and judgments that you may have placed on yourself because of how you are or like what you do or just how you show up in the world, and being like, wait, there's actually literally nothing inherently wrong with my way of being or anyone else's way of being. The point is that we get to choose how we want to be and how we want to show up. So I feel like you'll definitely be one of the more like free spirits and free thinkers in the group or in the community that you're born into or that you grow up around. And then this makes a lot of sense. How it manifests in the 3D is transformation, and what you're learning from it is immense growth. So when you choose yourself, and I just saw 1313, which is the number of, there's a lot of Scorpio energy here. So you could have Scorpio placements, or transformation and releasing is just a really big theme in your life. Because I just saw 1313, which is the number of the death card. We have transformation here, we have Scorpio here, and we have Pluto, which is one of Scorpio's co-rulers. So when you choose yourself, and when you choose to free yourself and live a life that is out of the box, and break the rules, which the rules are not even there to make sure you're good. The rules are there to make sure you stay under someone's thumb, I want to say. I feel like you were born into some set of rules that's like, it's not even like, this is bad because it hurts people. It's like, this is bad because I said so. Like, what? No. You're rejecting some rules or rejecting some norms that are completely not based in reality, just based in someone's desire to control you. So when you choose the life of freedom, you will experience immense growth. And we do have the 10th house here, which is like your career, your public image, your long-term goals and ambitions, your reputation. So you could really be rising to prominence in some way when you choose yourself, if that's something you want, or you could just be experiencing a lot of success, especially when you embrace your natural strengths and your natural gifts, and you embrace the parts of your identity that you were like conditioned to believe were wrong. That's when you will really shine. So this is like a whole journey that your soul has chosen to embark on in this lifetime, and they're really mastering freedom, free will, and personal empowerment, and like a refusal to submit, and a refusal to make yourself smaller. Ooh. What just was that? Did my watch do that? Anyway, I don't know. I feel like that vibrating was a confirmation. So in terms of the scale of this experience, we have Pluto. So I do feel like this is something that has gone on for many lifetimes. And your soul has been going through this kind of intense transformation for many lifetimes. I think that with Scorpio representing how your soul is approaching this experience, it's something that they're taking very seriously, and they have a deep desire to transform not just themselves, but to really transform the world. You know, the 10th house is very public. It's the most visible part of our birth chart. And so I feel like your soul is not only hoping for personal transformation, but really hoping to play a role in breaking oppressive systems in the world. And maybe could be a leader in that movement on Earth, or just contributing to that movement on Earth. Like every person who chooses to free themselves is making these systems of power weaker and weaker, because their narrative is only strong if people agree to uphold it. And the second, like the more people start challenging it, the flimsier it becomes, because we realize, oh, this is not the objective truth. You could have an identity or a way of expressing yourself that is like subversive to societal norms. But I definitely feel like you are playing a role in breaking oppressive systems, whether it's like within a family unit or within just like social groups or society at large. Okay, so did we talk about everything here? Yes. Next, we have the Knight of Swords for an experience that your soul has chosen. And it manifests in the 3D as angels of the four directions. I believe that's Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael and Archangel Uriel. Please feel free to correct me. I'm not very knowledgeable about the angels. But this is making me think that your soul like chose to be a human who is spiritual in this lifetime. I do feel like some kind of spiritual awakening is like a catalyst for this transformation journey, or maybe it just really helps you to stay strong. Your spiritual beliefs help you to stay strong on this journey of transformation and help you to have faith that the world can change. But yeah, I definitely feel like your soul chose a human that would gravitate towards spirituality and having spiritual beliefs. And you may have, I mean, this reading is obviously we're connecting to Archangel Metatron, but you in general, group 2, you could have a special connection with the angels. And I wonder, like with this Knight of Swords here, all the swords raining down, this could be communication and messages that you receive from the angels. You could be some kind of channel, like a psychic channel, or you channel messages from the angels, or maybe there's one angel in particular who you feel quite close to. I also want to say oracle, like the word, you are an oracle or a channel or a medium. I feel like that's the energetic signature of this experience. Maybe that's something you suppressed, like your spirituality or your connection to the angels, especially if you grew up in an environment that was very like practical, stoic, we don't believe in that kind of stuff. Or I feel like I've mentioned religion a couple of times in this reading. Maybe like that sort of thing like went against religion. But that, yeah, that's an experience you wanted to have in this lifetime. I guess your soul has this gift in general, and you wanted to remember it and utilize it in this lifetime. The ability to communicate with higher beings and to channel those messages for others. And I think just trust is definitely talking about like trusting the messages that you receive. A pattern that you might experience in this lifetime is receiving messages from higher beings and you don't even really know what it means, but you have to just say it, or you have to just write it down, because maybe the point is not to decipher it right now. Maybe the point is to just trust that the message is important and it will make sense later. So you have to learn how to just say it, just communicate it, just get it out there. I feel like you can help yourself and help others with this gift. But that's going to happen to you a lot, where the messages you receive don't make sense in the moment, but they make sense later. And that's why they require trust. This gift, I definitely feel, comes from a past life, but it's like in previous lives, maybe you had this gift, but you weren't aware of it, or you just hadn't really figured out how to best use it, or you weren't really able to control it or make sense of it very well. That's not to say you weren't using your gifts, but I feel like in this lifetime, you can use them in a more controlled way and like in a more practical way. You're really like honing, I think is the word. Honing in your ability or something. Really refining it, maybe, is what I want to say. Rather than, oh, it's just this random thing that happens sometimes. You can actually kind of communicate two ways with the angels and like ask them questions and intentionally seek out information, rather than just being like pouring down with overwhelming messages. I hope that that makes sense. You're getting better at wielding this tool in this lifetime. The area of your life it's going to affect, well, we have the 9th house here, which makes a lot of sense because that is like your spirituality and your beliefs and your higher perspective. So yeah, that's pretty literal. The relationships that will carry big themes for you in this lifetime are relationships with authority figures and like teachers and gurus. And those could kind of go hand in hand. There will be a theme of, I guess, discernment. Just because someone claims they have authority doesn't mean that's true. Just because someone says, you have to listen to me, it doesn't mean you have to. Just because someone says, I am an enlightened guru, it doesn't mean you have to listen to them. So it's like, you could really be in this lifetime examining your relationships with spiritual teachers or religious leaders or authority figures, like people in power or people who control the narrative. That doesn't mean you reject everybody. It just means that you, like, I'm not going to accept what you say just because you have this position or you give yourself this title. Being a free thinker and a free spirit is a big theme for you in this lifetime. And you're approaching this experience with a Sagittarian energy. So I do think you're approaching this with optimism. I think that your soul understands that you can use these gifts for a lot of good in this lifetime. But at the same time, maybe kind of wary of identifying yourself as any kind of like leader or authority figure, especially if you have a challenging relationship with like leaders and authority figures and stuff like that. But I definitely think this is a gift that your soul wanted to expand on and like really refine in this lifetime and use it for good. That's cool. Okay, so now we're going to get into some different tarot decks. And we're going to see what is destined for you in this lifetime, or just what is a little bit more fixed. We have the Magician. Okay, yeah, you were definitely destined to discover and use your gifts and manifest your dream life, like to utilize your manifestation powers. There's definitely this theme of breaking free from mental, spiritual, societal control and manifesting your own dreams and desires. So that is definitely destined for you to have that experience. I could also say here, the things that you want to manifest or the things that you're working on manifesting right now are in fact aligned with what you're destined to experience. So definitely keep going. Whatever it is you want to manifest, I think you need to trust that it's there for a reason and trust that it will all make sense. Sometimes you may not understand exactly why you feel so drawn to manifest certain things, but you just have to trust it and go with it. I don't know why this is coming through, but some of you could have a human vessel, like a body that could get sick easily, and you have to be careful. Maybe especially when you were little. I don't know, that's like super specific. I just saw like a little kid who's getting sick a lot. We have the Four of Wands and Universe, which is the world. that's a crazy confirmation, because we were just talking about like the things that you're manifesting right now, the things that you're working on manifesting right now are aligned with your destiny. And then the Four of Wands, this is like wish fulfillment and happiness. So you are destined to manifest your wishes. The wishes that you have are destined to come true, and you're destined to be happy. I think that you also have a chosen family that you're destined to be with in this lifetime. This could be a friend group, a community. It could also be like a spouse and children. I know, like, I don't think chosen family, that term is usually used for spouse and children, but you do like choose your spouse and you like choose to have kids. So I'm going to use it in that context. Actually, let me know if you use chosen family in that way. I don't think so though. I think it's like your friends and stuff. But anyway, enough rambling about that. I do think there is a soul family or chosen family you're destined to be with in this lifetime, and who will be an incredible support system for you and support you being your fullest self. I think in an earlier phase of your life, being yourself feels like an act of rebellion, but then later in your life, as you're surrounded by the right loving and supportive people, it stops feeling like that. It feels like the most natural thing to do. It feels like the safest. Aww. That's making me emotional. Like it seems like there is a stage of your life where being yourself feels like this isn't safe, this is risky, this is rebellious, but I have to do it. And then at a later phase in your life, being yourself feels like this is safe, this is easy, this is natural. And it's because of who you're with. It's because of your chosen family. That's so sweet. And I'm sending you love wherever you're at in this journey right now. With the World here, again, with 3 cards, Archangel Metatron has chosen to use all 3 cards. So this must be important to tell you that your wishes are destined to come true and you are destined to reach your goals and see it through to the very end. There could be something with the 10th house in the World here about gaining recognition on a kind of large scale. Take that if it resonates. Could even be worldwide for some of you, depending on what you feel called to do professionally. You could have a soul family that's kind of international or diverse, which does mean that you could have some long distance besties in this lifetime. But that's an excuse to travel. And I feel like you'll definitely have the means to do that. If anything, I could say you probably have a soul family that is made up of people who come from all different walks of life and who are probably quite different from the people you grew up with. Okay, so now let's see what is less fixed. What is more bendable by your free will? Your soul family said, we're coming. Your soul family said, we're showing up. That is fixed. Your success said, you can't avoid me. I am fixed. But what is more up to your free will, up to your inner magician? Ooh, that almost fell off the table. We have the Hermit. I do feel, because the Hermit is a very spiritual card, so right away, I want to say, like, how much of your life you dedicate to spirituality is up to you. How much of your public-facing identity, how much you show your spiritual side in your public-facing identity is up to you. I definitely feel like you will be using your gifts to help other people, but that will be a choice that you make. It's not like you have to do that. I think it's up to you how much or how little you want to showcase your spiritual side in this lifetime, whether you want to be really more like outward with it and actively showing it to people and actively helping people with it, or if you want to keep it as something sacred to yourself. And obviously that can change at different stages in your life. There may be certain decades. There may be certain decades of your life where you want to be like, I have these spiritual gifts and let me help you and let me show you. And then there may be other decades of your life where you're like, my spiritual journey is personal right now and it's just for me and I'm just going to reflect. I also feel like there will be stages of your life where you want to be more like extroverted and in the mix, and there will be other stages of your life where you want to go like meditate in the woods for 6 years. Okay, maybe that's kind of an exaggeration, but you know what I mean? Like, there may be some times where you just want to retreat and be by yourself, and that's okay. And this is related to the sign of Virgo. And I was just thinking about that message of you could have a body that is more prone to getting sick. Channeling and using your psychic abilities, it does take an energetic toll, sometimes a small one, sometimes a big one. And you definitely don't want to be in a situation where you feel like obligated to, for example, do readings for everyone, channel for everyone, heal everyone. That is how you deplete your energy. And in your case, like, you could experience physical symptoms or like get sick if you are spiritually exhausted. So it's definitely up to you if and when and how much you use your spiritual gifts for other people. I also feel like it's up to you. I mean, I could say this for any human. It's up to you whether or not you want to get married. It's up to you whether or not you want to have a family. I feel like if we're talking about societal norms being pushed onto you, it's probably more likely that someone who doesn't want to get married and have kids feels pressure that they have to get married and have kids versus like the other way around. So if that's your situation, I just want you to know, like, you don't feel like you have to do that. Of course, if you want to, ignore that message, but it's not for everybody. What else is up to your free will? We have the 10 of Swords. Okay, I don't know what this is referring to. Maybe we'll have to pull a clarifier, but it's up to your free will when something ends, when something is over. So there will be a significant ending in your life, but it's not an ending that will happen to you. It's an ending that you will choose. Well, maybe it's referring to this way of living that you're breaking free from. But it could be something else. Let's be nosy. Page of Cups. Something that you've grown out of. Something that served a younger version of you, but now it's feeling, I want to say it's almost feeling childish or immature. I'm just giving a random example, but I thought of like growing out of friendships. Like maybe when you were younger or when you were kids, you and this other person really got along, but then you sort of matured in different ways. Or you matured or someone else didn't. Or even like if you were in a certain field of work or a certain community and you grew and the community or industry didn't really grow with you, something feels outdated or like childish or immature. Also, I feel like some of you could be like, and I don't mean this, I mean this like in an endearing way, but you could kind of be like an old hermit trapped in a young person's body and you're just like over it already. But anyway, yeah, there's something in your life that you have to choose to end it. It's not gonna end for you. Oh, so you want it to end. But the universe won't just remove it. You have to like draw that line in the sand, I think is the expression. And say like, I'm literally hearing like I'm too old for this shit. And some of you may not even be old, but it's just the feeling of like, I'm over, like this is juvenile. I don't know, maybe it's like a friend or a friend group or something that the culture is obsessed with. And you're like, are we really still doing this? Are we really still talking about this? Like, I'm so over this. Let's get one more. We have the Lovers. Well, that makes a lot of sense because it was coming through like whether you partner up with someone and whom you partner up with is very much your choice. This actually came through for group number 1 as well, that like you may not have one definitive soulmate whom you must end up with. And it's really like you get to choose who you're in a relationship with and what that relationship looks like. I'm wondering if some of you were like, is indoctrinated the word? Well, like conditioned growing up of like, this is what all relationships must look like. It must be one man and one woman and you must get married young and have a lot of children. You know, like there's some maybe like conventional relationship standards or family standards that you will be rejecting in this lifetime, or like how you choose to, maybe like you have a life partner but you decide not to get like legally married, or maybe you decide not to have a wedding, or maybe you decide not to have kids, or you decide to adopt kids, or like it just feels like, and it's going to be different for everybody, but some decision you make about life partner, marriage, having a family will be like outside of the box. And that doesn't even mean it's inherently unusual. It just means like different from what was expected of you, or like what you were taught you have to do. So just remember that you have the freedom and nobody can tell you like who you should love, not even like spirit or a higher power. It's completely your choice. Yeah. So, and also just remember like you can choose who is in your life, and you can also choose who is not in your life. I don't think most of my group twos are going to have this problem, but you know, sometimes we get stuck in connections because we have this belief that like, oh, they're karmic or they're destined and I have to suffer through this dynamic because this is a past life soulmate. And at any point, if a connection with someone is causing you stress or pain, you are allowed to walk away. Period. There's no glory in like making yourself suffer in a relationship. So remember, you choose who's in your life and you also choose who's not in your life. And there's no like wrong answer to that. You're not going to get to the end of your incarnation and your spirit guide's like, you were actually supposed to stay with that person. You were supposed to marry them and you didn't, and you were wrong. Like, no. If you chose to walk away for your peace, then you did the right thing, period. If you said like, I'm not going to tolerate being hurt, being mistreated, being disrespected, you did the right thing, period. Okay. So finally, let's get some messages. Well, some final advice from Archangel Metatron. What advice can we finish off this reading with? We have, so kind of it's saying like failures make you strong, or as much as you've failed, you will become stronger. So Archangel Metatron may be coming through to suggest that what you may perceive as failures are nothing of the sort, because everything is leading to your growth and everything is leading to you becoming stronger. And one more. Oh wow, that is so fitting for your life journey. It says, have a heart that is as free as the sky. Yeah, you were meant to experience freedom in this lifetime, like complete freedom, freedom of your identity, freedom of your expression, freedom in your relationships, freedom in how or when you choose to utilize your gifts. Your like the core vibration, I could say, of what your soul has chosen to experience in this lifetime is freedom. Okay, so group 2, those are all the messages I have for you. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. And thank you to Archangel Metatron for facilitating these messages. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself. Stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my Instagram, my memberships, where you can watch the extendeds that go up every month. You can also watch exclusive full-length pick a card readings for the members. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. And if you happen to be in Tokyo on March 19th, you can come see me at OR in Miyashita Park in Shibuya. I'm going to be DJing there and hanging out there before and after my set. So if you wanted to come by and say hi and hang out, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram and I'll share the event details with you. Thank you so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your higher self, anyone who appeared in this reading, their higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And of course, to Archangel Metatron. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi, number threes. So if you guys chose the Kyanite and this iteration of Archangel Metatron, this is going to be your reading. You may have already noticed this in the intro, but on this card we have the number 40, and Archangel Metatron is associated with the 6th chakra, which is the 3rd eye chakra. So I want to start by just showing the breakdown for today's reading. Like we talked about in the intro, we are going to use the concept of books that your soul chose from a spiritual library to represent the experiences and lessons that your soul chose to have during this incarnation. And we're going to be looking at 2 different books in this reading. And for each book, we will reveal the energetic signature of this experience or lesson that your soul chose and how it manifests in the 3D, in which area of life is it most prominent, the scale of this experience or lesson. So is it just something that happens in a particular season of your life? Is it a lifelong thing, or is it even something that's been ongoing for multiple lifetimes? How your soul approaches this experience or lesson, and what your soul is currently learning from it. And then at the end of the reading, we're going to see what in your journey is destined, meaning what is more fixed in your story, and what is more easily edited by your free will or your inner magician. So what is less fixed in your story. And then we're going to finish the reading with advice from Archangel Metatron to you for this moment right now. So that's going to be our reading today. Thank you so much for being here. And now let's access the spiritual library and let's see what books your soul has chosen. So we're going to pull 2 cards from this deck, and these cards will represent the energetic signature of the experience or the lesson. My group 3s. We have the Ace of Coins, and that kind of fell out of the middle. Okay. And then we have Death. Okay, I was wondering if I was gonna mention this, but there was a song stuck in my head before I started filming your group, and one of the lines that repeats in the song is like, I wanna be like you. I wanna be like you. I wish I could shine the way you do. So yeah, it's this song of like, I aspire to be like you. And then I was watching this like video essay about Gnarly by Cat's Eye, and I had that line stuck in my head that's like, I'll be, they be trying to copy. So I realized like both of those songs have some theme of like emulating another person. And they're, are you emulating someone, or is someone emulating you? Or is it both? But I don't know, something about that Ace of Pentacles kind of falling out of the middle of the deck, it felt like you stumbling upon your passion, or like stumbling upon your calling because you discovered someone else. Like maybe you saw someone on TV, maybe something got recommended to you on YouTube, maybe you were like out in the world and you witnessed someone doing something and you're like, oh my gosh, that's so cool, I want to be like them. And there's really this feeling of you weren't like purposely trying to find them, or you weren't purposely trying to discover your passion, but you like stumbled upon someone who you really wanted to emulate. And then when you followed that like longing, or when you followed that spark, or when you do, if you haven't done this yet, it leads to great success and fulfillment for you. And so maybe like your soul chose to encounter this person as a catalyst. Maybe this person volunteered to be your catalyst. Maybe it's like a soul agreement between the two of you. But I feel like there is someone you will look up to, maybe, or you already have been looking up to this person, and they really are like in the spiritual sense, they are a catalyst to show you your calling, or like to show you your passion that you weren't even trying to find. It's really like you stumbled upon it or you bumped into it. It's really interesting. And maybe you're going to pay this energy forward, and like in the future, people will stumble upon you and you will show them their passion. But that's kind of cool. All right. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle some more decks, but this part kind of takes a while. So if you want to skip past the shuffling segment of this reading, there will be a timestamp here. You can also scroll down and there will be a clickable timestamp below to just skip ahead to the rest of the messages. So with this deck, we're gonna see how these energies manifest in the 3D. So the Ace of Pentacles. That's so funny. Discovery. And we were talking about you like stumbling upon something, or like, didn't I literally use the word like you discovered something or you discovered someone? Maybe I didn't, but that was definitely the energy of it. And how does this death energy manifest in the 3D? Joyous fun. That's kind of a funny duality. Like, yay, death! But anywho, let's keep going. And this deck is going to represent what your soul is currently learning. So what is your soul learning from this Ace of Coins energy? Perception. And what is your soul learning from this death energy? Service. The last thing we're going to do is just roll a set of dice for each of these. So a set of dice for the Ace of Pentacles energy. Oop. Okay, there was Sagittarius and then I accidentally knocked it and it turned into Capricorn. I will make a note of that. And then we have the second house, which is kind of interesting because if you were a Sag rising, you could very well have a Capricorn in your second house. And well, the sign of Capricorn would be in your second house. It just may not be the cusp, depending on what house system you use. But anyway, this is besides the point. And then your planet is Pluto. And a set of dice for the death energy. We have the number 2 again. Interesting. We have the moon and we have Scorpio. Okay, some of you could have the moon or Pluto in your second house, or you could have the moon in Scorpio or moon in Capricorn, or someone significant to you does. You don't have to, but that could be a little bit of extra confirmation. So let's get into these energies. We'll start with this Ace of Pentacles one. We were kind of talking about it a bit already, but I think these visuals are so interesting. I think this pentacle represents your passion, like something in this lifetime that you love so much, something that you love to do, or something that you love to build, or something that you love to make. And the fact that we have this ship, I almost feel like this pentacle is a divine offering. It's a blessing that you find something in this world that you love so much. And I feel like your guides or even spirit saying, this is the thing that will guide you in your life. So this thing that you love, maybe it's your job, maybe it's what you create, a certain path that you're on. I feel like it is, or it will become, the main priority in your life and the thing that you would base a lot of your life decisions around. It's almost like your internal guidance system. When you think about your life decisions, it's like, which decision would allow me to prioritize this coin? Which decision would make me better at protecting this coin? Which decision would help me polish this coin more? Which decision would help me keep this coin? It's like something that you love, and maybe this sounds dramatic, but maybe it's not. Maybe you like protect it with your life, or you hold it really dear to you. And I feel like whatever this person is holding is this coin. This represents the moment in the 3D where you discover this coin, where you discover your passion and that one thing you want to do. And I will say this energy is unique to this group. Like the idea of there is one thing in this world that your soul really wants to do. If you've already found this coin, I have no doubt that you know what this is. If you haven't found it yet, it does seem that you will, again, like accidentally stumble upon this passion when you're not looking for it, and it will probably consume your life quite a bit, but I think that that's going to make you very happy. I do think there's a lesson here of trusting the divine. Because again, like, and I've probably said this like 8 million times, so I'm sorry, but like, I think a really important thing is that you find this when you weren't trying to. And I feel there's a lesson in that. Like, if something's meant to happen, it's gonna happen. And so you watching this right now, I think one thing Archangel Metatron wants you to know is that you don't have to stress about like, what if I miss what's meant for me? You will not miss it. You'll be walking through this river or whatever this is, and you will see the glimmer, and you will have to go looking for it. And also, the way, like, I'm hearing like I could have just as easily ignored this, but I didn't. Like, something in me told me this was important. Okay, I'm gonna go with this analogy of like, let's say you're walking along a river with your friends and you notice an object in the river and your friends don't really think much of it. And that's because the object in the river isn't meant for them. That intuition you feel to pick the object out of the river is because there's some part of your soul, there's some part of you that is your soul that knows this object is valuable for me. Like, my friends didn't notice the object in the river because they weren't meant to. So it's like the universe put this here for me to discover. And so I trust the universe that it knows where to put things, so I will find them. And I also trust myself to know when, like, okay, this thing is valuable. I think it will be important in this lifetime to trust those gut feelings that you get of like, this interaction might be important. That comment that person made might be important. That this person might be important. You won't miss it. and you'll know when something is meant for you. So I think you're learning to trust in the divine, but also that like you can find signs of your calling everywhere around you, but you also have the guidance system inside you. And the world around you is just an outer reflection of the guidance system that is inside you. But it really feels like serendipity or divine orchestration, the way you find your passion. We do have the second house here, so I would say this is definitely something that's going to influence your career, how you make money, and this passion does kind of become a part of you and like part of your identity. Maybe you feel like you can't separate yourself from it, but not in like an unhealthy way, in just like, this is who I am. Like I live and breathe this path. It's so important to me. Like if you were a musician and you're like, you can't separate me from music, you know? It's who I am. It's something that you identify with. It's something that gives your life value, and it's the value that you can give to other people. That's just one example, right? But that's how it feels. And with Pluto here, this tells me that this experience is something that happens over and over again throughout your lifetimes. So there's just something that your soul really likes to do. And that's not to say that you have the exact same job in every lifetime, but maybe you end up serving the collective in similar ways throughout your lifetimes. Just to use music as an example again, like maybe you are a musician, you end up being a musician in a lot of your lifetimes, but maybe you don't always like play the same genre or play the same instrument, or maybe sometimes you are like a bigger musician or a smaller musician, or you make stuff for other people, or you are in the stage, or you are behind the scenes, or, you know, like it could be kind of, maybe in one lifetime you make commercial jingles, and in another lifetime you make movie soundtracks or something like that. Like it could be like, it's kind of in the same realm, but you're exploring it differently in different lifetimes. And it's just like, it's something that your soul keeps choosing over and over again because they just love it so much. And I think that your guides approve of this decision because they can see that it's not redundant yet. Maybe at some point in future lifetimes, they'll be like, okay, group 3 soul, like maybe we want to try doing something different, but there's still so much for you to explore that you could take many, many lifetimes until you've seen it all. Because also, like, as the times change, the world around your passion evolves. Like doing your passion 500 years ago versus doing your passion 500 years into the future for where we are now, it's going to be a vastly different experience. So I feel like at this point, your guides are like, I mean, go for it. If you want to do that again, sure. Like you're still having varied and enriching experiences. You're still growing from it. If it starts to get redundant, maybe, you know, we'll talk, but you found your thing. Like you found your thing. And so for those of you watching this who are like, I haven't found my thing, like you're going to find it. That's an experience that your soul has chosen to have in this lifetime. And Capricorn represents how your soul approaches it. So I do think they take it very seriously. Whatever this thing is, I feel like you do end up reaching a professional level with it in most of your lifetimes. You could be kind of obsessed with it because Pluto energy is very intense, and that would just match with the energies that we've seen so far. So yeah, whatever it is you're passionate about in this lifetime, you're probably passionate about the same things or very similar things in previous lifetimes, or like the equivalent to that thing in past eras, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's take a look at this Death card energy. How it manifests in the 3D is joyous fun. So there's a couple different ways that I could interpret this. One is that your soul may have fun like reinventing themselves and transforming, but also death could be talking about this idea that nothing lasts forever, and the way that manifests in the 3D is like, I need to enjoy my life, I need to do what makes me happy. So your soul may have experienced a loss that makes them cherish life more, or some kind of wake-up call, or some kind of scare, I want to say, that's like, okay, I have to really commit to what I love. And I think something that your soul also wants to learn in this lifetime is that committing to what you love, like, you can serve people in that way. And this message comes up quite a bit in reading, so I do think it's something that many of us struggle with. Like, we feel like if we choose our joy and choose our passion, it means that we're being selfish, and maybe we worry about like, oh, but that's not the best way for me to serve others. And I think your soul very much did in this lifetime choose to serve the collective through following their joy and doing what they love. So the journey to pursue your passion and the journey to how you can best serve others, like, they're one and the same. And it's not useful or helpful to compare how you serve others to how other people serve others. I don't know, like, maybe sometimes you could compare yourself to others and say like, oh, well, the way they're helping people is more important than the way I help people. It's more meaningful, it's more useful, it's more this, it's more that. When in reality, everybody's unique way of serving the world is needed. And because we're all connected, like, you know, the way me serving people in the way I serve people makes the way you do it even more valuable and special, and vice versa. And if everybody tried to serve the collective in the same way, we would just collapse. Like, we need the diversity in how we show up to heal others. And everybody does it in different ways. Yeah. This seems like, so you have the moon for this one, for the scale of this experience. And that's interesting because like Pluto is the most outer celestial body and the slowest moving one. And that made me think like, okay, this has been going on for many, many lifetimes. The moon is the closest and fastest moving celestial body. So this experience feels like just a little blip in this lifetime where you're kind of like maybe questioning the way that you serve others. And also, I feel like it's this comparing yourself and judging yourself is especially useless because it's not like you're gonna do something different, is it? Like, I feel like that would be such a betrayal to yourself if you were like, I love this path so much, but I feel pressure and comparison and think maybe this other way of serving people is better, so I'm gonna do that instead. I personally, even if I may not know you, based on this energy here, I can't imagine you doing that. I feel like you know deep down what it is that you love and what it is that you want to do and what you have to do to honor yourself. And a lesson in this lifetime will be trusting that that is not like contradictory to the best way you can serve others. In fact, it is the very best way that you can serve others, and it is very valuable. The second house here, I feel like could be speaking more to the like self-worth and value side of things. And you're approaching this experience with Scorpio-esque energy. Oh my gosh, I just realized like Capricorn matches with Ace of Pentacles because it's Earth, and Scorpio matches with Death because Death is Scorpio. So it's like, it fits very well. Yeah, you're approaching this experience in a Scorpio way. So I feel like you could be kind of an all or nothing person, or like when something matters to you, it really matters to you. I also feel like you could be quite, well, yeah, all or nothing is intense, like quite an intense person. And you can really get in your head and get stuck on ideas, which I feel like is a blessing and a curse. Because if you got tunnel vision on like creating something, you could be really like in the zone and productive and like you're on fire, you're on a roll. But if you get tunnel vision on an insecurity, then it could be really hard to pull yourself out of that. So yeah, I do feel like you have this intense nature about you and this tunnel vision about you that's a blessing and a curse. And there may be a short period of your life, because the moon indicates this will just be kind of like a thing that comes and goes in this lifetime. But there may be a period where you get really in your head about like comparing yourself to others and like and like questioning the impact that you've had on others or on the world. Like, what have I really done for other people? And it's like a lot. But I don't know, maybe it's like you're comparing yourself to why do I want to say a sibling? I don't know, a sibling, someone you went to school with, a peer, and you're like, oh, they've done more. They've done more than I have for the collective kind of thing. And it's just not true. There could also be like the loss of someone or a grieving period that you go through that really gets you in your head of like, what have I done with my life? Like, what have I done for other people? And feeling like an urgency or pressure about it, when in fact the lesson is like, our time here is precious and we shouldn't be wasting it on judging ourselves. I just heard like, at least that's what they would want you to take from this. So maybe you have a loved one on the other side who's like wanting you to be more kind to yourself and recognize the impact that you have had is like astronomical on your loved ones and on your community and just on the collective, because again, we're all connected. Okay, so we're going to get into some different decks now, and we're going to see what in your life is destined, or what is more fixed in your story. Ooh. Okay, we have the Ace of Pentacles, exactly. So yeah, this is like the one group where I'm saying the profession that you have or that you'll end up having is like quite destined. We have the Empress. So, okay, there's a few different ways I can interpret this. Feel free to claim any and all that resonate. One, and I think this is true, your soul maybe chose a body that's just like very beautiful, or like a human vessel that's just very beautiful inside and out. Well, I mean, inside, that's like you, that's your soul, but yeah, you're a very beautiful person. And you have good, like, I think you make beautiful things, or you express yourself in a beautiful way, or maybe the way you speak is beautiful. You bring beauty to the world. Also, the Ace of Pentacles and the Empress, for your destiny, I do feel like you're destined to be wealthy, period. You're destined to be materially wealthy. For some of you, this isn't going to resonate for everyone, but you could be destined to be a parent. So you may have like a soulmate or soul family member who will enter your life as your child. Again, just take that if it resonates. I think if you want to have children, then that's a sign that you are destined to have them. And then we also have the 10 of Swords. Interesting. This came up for group 2, but it was on the other side, like something that wasn't destined. So there's an ending in your life that is destined to happen but it's going to protect you. Okay, this is like really specific, but I heard it's going to protect you from a nervous breakdown, or like is going to protect you from your mental health like hitting the fan. Just one example to illustrate this energy is like, let's say you got let go from a job, and then you're like really upset about it. But as it turns out, if you had stayed in that job, maybe like shortly after you got let go, like some new management came in and they started changing everything, and like the conditions there became something that would be really like detrimental to your mental health and would have burned you out and just would not have been a good fit for you. So it's almost like the universe is getting you out of a situation before shit hits the fan, or like before something happens that would really mess up your peace and your mental health. So in the moment, it may feel like something was taken from you, but it's actually the universe taking you out of a situation to like save you from something. I actually had kind of something like this happen once, and it was like my boss was trying to like soft fire me, like phase me out, but then something bad happened at that workplace and I was not there. And yeah, so it, you know, that's just one example with it being work related. But yeah, if you feel maybe this hasn't happened yet, or maybe it already has happened, but if at some point in your journey you feel like a situation ended prematurely, or like something was taken from you, that was actually the universe saving you. Maybe even protecting your resources, protecting your finances. Your wealth is going to be protected for sure. I also do feel like your soul chose this kind of tunnel vision mind, and they understood the pros and cons. Like, I'm sure your guide had a conversation with your soul, like, you know, if you pick this kind of like intense tunnel vision mind, you know, it will help you in many ways, and these could be the drawbacks of it. And your soul's like, yeah, I'll go for it. Like, I can maneuver it, I can navigate it. So, but you have to be careful with it, and learning how to navigate this kind of the mind that is prone to tunnel vision, I think is a lesson that you were like aware of in this lifetime, and learning that it's a good trait, but it has to be used on the right things to be beneficial to your mental well-being. And you also have to be able to hit the brakes on it sometimes. Otherwise, you're going to end up like going down rabbit holes at 3 a.m. and you're going to end up thinking about a 30-second social interaction for 7 days. You know, you need to know how to stop it. But that's something that your soul felt capable of, and something that you are capable of. This is not going to be everyone, but some of you could have Gemini Sun with Venus in Taurus. Okay, so let's see. What in your life, this is not even the right deck, but let's take this because I shuffled it, so you're probably meant to see it. Should I just reveal it now? Sure. Ooh, we have the Ace of Wands. So I guess this is another I heard this just in. So maybe like you already incarnated and now your soul is like, this one too. This one too. This is like the equivalent of when you go grocery shopping with someone and you're already in line for the cash and then they're like, wait, I gotta get one more thing. And then they run and leave you alone. And you're like, well, I don't have money, so I hope you come back. Maybe not exactly like that, but I just felt like describing that scenario right now. I feel like your soul chose books, chose some experiences for you to have in this lifetime. And now that you're down here and you've been living some life, your soul was like, wait a minute, I want this one too. And has now thrown you or will be throwing you in the very near future, like some new fresh inspiration or some kind of new spark entering your life. And again, I picked up this deck by accident. I didn't mean to use this deck. So it's a new spark or a new inspiration that you weren't trying to find. It found you. This could be happening now or it's going to happen very soon. It's like your soul just updated your journey in real time. Maybe they were like, group 3 can use a little bit of a pick-me-up. Let's give them something fun. Let's give them a little spark. Let's spice things up. Okay, let's see what's going on here. You don't have to choose this. I just saw the visual of like when someone's calling you and there's a green button to answer and a red button to ignore the call. You don't have to pick up. This isn't part of your destiny. It's some kind of like fun side quest or just a fun experience that wants to find you right now. Could be fun. What is this? Let's just see what comes out. Some of you like already have this offer presented to you, and if you're sitting there thinking like, is this meant for me? I just heard like you're asking the wrong question. Cause like something could be technically not in your destiny, but that doesn't mean that it won't be enjoyable and that you won't like the experience. So I don't know, maybe your friend invites you to go on a trip with them and you're like, Spirit, am I meant to go on this trip? And Spirit's like, does it matter? Like, maybe it's not in your big life's destiny plan, but you could still go and have an awesome time. Maybe it's like, well, I know this isn't everybody's cup of tea, but maybe it's like a fling that you have with someone. And also there's something like, it's an offer or an opportunity or an invitation that won't be here forever. So, you know, there's the phone's ringing and there's the green button and the red button. But at some point, like the phone doesn't ring forever. At some point it stops ringing. So you could answer it or you could ignore it or you could just do nothing and the phone will stop ringing. And it's only gonna, whatever this energy is that's trying to enter your life, it's only gonna call once. We have the Four of Cups. Maybe your higher self and your spiritual team have seen that some of you have been kind of like bored lately, or you're in a rut, or like just not feeling very inspired. Look at this person. Like life is offering her this cup and she's like, eh. Maybe life has become a bit mundane for you or repetitive, or you're feeling like in a stuck or stagnant energy. So probably this Ace of Wands is something that your higher self sent you just to help you get unstuck. We have the Five of Pentacles. And we have the King of Pentacles. It's interesting that we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Empress as your destiny. It means that you're destined to make a lot of money and you're destined to accumulate a lot of wealth in this lifetime. But then we have the Five of Pentacles as something that's up to your free will. So I do feel like you are destined to make a lot of money in this lifetime. But then what you do with that money, how you manage that money, is up to your free will. How you keep that money or how you keep your lifestyle. So yeah, maybe this is like a warning message that it's not necessarily, like for example, let's say you made a bunch of money and then you're like, well, I'm destined to be rich so I can go and blow all this money. Maybe not. You also, just because you're destined to experience something, it doesn't mean that you can do anything and it's gonna stay. So take what you were destined to receive and then manage it properly. Just in case someone needed to hear that. Just in case. You're probably fine, but there is a little bit of that warning message there. And I think it's just a good philosophy to have for anything. Like just because you were meant to have something, that doesn't mean it's gonna be in your life no matter what. Another easy example of this is like if someone's your soulmate and you're meant to be with them, you still have to nurture that relationship and treat them well so that they stay in your life. It's not like, oh, well, we're destined to be together, so you'll be around no matter what. No, you have to like maintain what you were destined to receive with your choices. So I don't know, maybe just like someone out there needs to hear this, but be sure to treasure what the universe gives you and don't take it for granted. I will say, I was very impressed that this King of Pentacles card came out and it like hit all of these dice, but none of them actually knocked over. So I do think that your wealth and your security is pretty robust. There may be, I don't want to say any scary messages. There may be some moments in your life where you're feeling a bit unstable and where resources kind of take a hit, but I also think that you can recover pretty well from those. And I do feel like with the King of Pentacles, you are leaving behind some sort of legacy with your career and with what you've accomplished in the material world. You are leaving behind a legacy. If I could give some advice to my group threes, it's important to keep balance in your life because there's been a lot of messages about like this one thing that you really love and tunnel vision. But it's good to have a few eggs in other baskets because you never know. You never know what's gonna happen. Like imagine if your thing that you love so much is like traveling the world or touring the world, and then it's the year 2020. Like, you need to have your eggs in other baskets so that you don't end up like this Four of Cups person, like, well, what do I do now? So maybe your higher self is throwing you this little Ace of Wands to spice up your life, or to just like put some spark or some fun back, or it's just another basket to put some eggs in. That's such a weird expression to say at this time. Anyway, let's which deck do I want to use? I think we'll keep going with this one. I just want to see if we can know anything about like what or who this Ace of Wands is. I'm intrigued. We have the Nine of Swords. Anxiety. You're nervous to accept. You're intrigued, but you're nervous to accept. Three of Cups at the bottom. Okay, it's definitely an invitation. It's an invitation from someone to, I don't know, maybe you're invited to work on a project, you're invited to collaborate, you're invited to, like I said, to go on a trip, to go to some event. Maybe someone wants to be your friend. It feels friendly. It's definitely friendly, but you're nervous to accept. This feels like the energy of, I'll just give a couple of examples, like a friend invites you to a party and you're nervous because you're like, but I don't know anybody there except you. Or your friend invites you on a trip, but you're like, I don't know, because then I'm gonna fall behind on my work, and like, what if I don't have enough money? It's like you're intrigued and you want to accept, but some worries are holding you back. You get invited to collaborate on a project with some really cool people, but you're like, oh no, what if they don't like my work? What if I don't measure up to the rest of the group? What if I don't meet their expectations? So I feel like the energy of the Ace of Wands is very much asking you to like just go for it. But then this Nine of Swords in your head is saying like, what if this, what if that? But that's the type of thinking that keeps you in a rut. Or like that's the type of thinking that keeps like everything in your life the same and everything predictable. I think it's important to look at what is underneath the fear, and this is probably going to be something where if you look underneath your fears, what you see is like a warm and friendly invitation and something that you're like interested in, and it could lead to making new friends. It could lead to making new friends or like meeting new collaborators or potential collaborators. And it's just like a fun side quest. It may not be like your main thing that you have going on in your life, but it's a fun side quest. Maybe there's a part of you that's nervous about, like, if I don't put all of my eggs in this basket, then I'm gonna, like, my progress is gonna start deteriorating. You maybe are under this impression that this Ace of Pentacles in your life requires all of your focus and all of your effort. And if you start putting your effort somewhere else, like you're gonna lose this Ace of Pentacles. It's like a fear. You don't trust that it can maintain itself, that it doesn't need all of your focus. Like maybe you think this is a distraction, but it's actually just like a fun experience that your higher self is presenting to you. And it could lead to friendships. And everybody loves friendships. Okay, so anyway, let's look at some final cards for advice from Archangel Metatron. We have, oh, it says, ignite your quiet passion. Like, set fire to your quiet passion. Follow the flame. Follow the spark. You could be, I feel like some of you could be exploring like a new hobby or a new way of expressing yourself. Or you could be kind of like working on something behind the scenes. Because it said quiet passion. It's not like at the forefront. This says something about getting rid of lies and jealousy, but I don't think that's you. And this says you should act quickly. I don't think this is you. I think there's like someone around you who's jealous of you. This could be speaking a bit to that energy of you comparing yourself to others. And Archangel Metatron is saying like, cut that out quickly. But I do feel like there could be someone around you who is jealous of you. They could lie to impress you or to feel like they can compete with you. Or maybe the lie is them like acting like they're unbothered and acting like they're not envious, but they actually are. It's funny because when I was shuffling, I heard this voice that said like, not everything is about you. And it sounded kind of like sassy. And I was like, I don't like that. And I just like ignored it. But I wonder if for some of my group threes, like you have a suspicion that someone's jealous of you or like someone is behaving a certain way because they're jealous of you. But then there's this other part of you that shuts it down because you're like, oh, that's so egotistical of me to think that someone would be jealous of me. Like, calm down. Not everything is about you. Like you're talking to yourself like that. But it's like they, in fact, actually are jealous of you and your intuition is correct. And that is why they're behaving this way. Like not everything is about you, but some things are. And your intuition is on point. So now this is making this Three of Cups even more appealing because you shouldn't be around jealous people. You deserve to be around supportive and uplifting people and friendly people. And I feel like there is, whatever this Ace of Wands is, if you accept this offer that the universe is presenting to you right now or that is about to present to you, I do feel like it could lead to some really nice friendships. And maybe they're not like your primary soulmates, but they're from like an adjacent soul group that you get along with, or just you take a liking to them. It doesn't matter. It's for your enjoyment and your growth and to experience friendship, which is one of life's most beautiful gifts. Maybe you just need some time away from your usual people that you spend time with. And if that's yourself and you spend a lot of time alone, maybe you need some time away from your own thoughts and just in other people's company. So yeah, group 3, those are all the messages for you. So I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself. Stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my Instagram, my memberships where you can watch the extended readings that we do every month. You can also watch full-length exclusive pick a card readings for the members. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. And if you happen to be in Tokyo on March 19th, you can come see me at OR in Miyashita Park in Shibuya. I'm going to be DJing there and hanging out there before and after my set. So if you wanted to come by and say hi and hang out, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram and I will share the event details with you. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your higher self, anyone who appeared in this reading, their higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, of course, Archangel Metatron. Thank you for facilitating these messages. And I'm sending love to all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.